Hi, I'm Scott McLean from TranceMusicMastery.com. In this video, I will show you how Adam Sabo created a pad sound like the One Heard in Seven Cities Armin van Buuren remix by Solarstone. And the sound that Adam created sounds like this. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the Midi clip. And I'll go ahead and fold the display just to make it easier to look at the notes. So it looks like we've got C on the bottom. In fact, I'll just look at the lower notes here. C, C3, C4, then down to an F and an A, then a C3, C4, and then down to an F and an A. And then the top three notes are E, G, C, up to D, E, and then F, A, C, and then F, E. And then here we have E, G, C, D, E. And then finally we have F, A, C, and then F and E. So now I'll play through it one time with the Midi clip. Okay, let's look at the sound map. And Adam Sabo says, this pad uses multiple detuned saws, but the phaser is the one that gives it special character. The phaser effect is mixed in a lot to make the pad have motion and make it sound interesting. So this is a 2-oscillator patch. Each oscillator is using quad saw waves. Those flow into a filter. This is an LP Excite filter. And then that flows into the amplifier with the volume being modulated by envelope 1 with zero attack, medium decay, sustain at 80%, and a fast release. Then that flows into the effects and then to the main output. So for the effects, we have an EQ with a low shelf plus 7 dB boost near 200 Hz, a bandpass minus 23.5 dB boost near 55 Hz, a bandpass plus 3.5 dB boost near 2.25 kHz, and a high shelf plus 2.5 dB boost near 17.5 kHz. Then it flows into a second EQ, which does some further equalization refinements. A bandpass plus 4.5 dB boost near 1.5 kHz, a bandpass plus 5 dB boost near 10 kHz, and a high shelf minus 2.5 dB boost near 5 kHz. Then that flows into a phaser mixed in at 50%, so it's very prominent in the patch. And then it flows into a delay with a stereo delay with left and right delays at 1/4, 31% dry wet mix, and some cross feedback is added. And then that flows into a reverb with approximately a 3-second reverb tail and zero dampening for bright reverb, and then to the main output. Okay, let's build this patch. So the first thing that we need to do is switch the Zebra 2 compatibility mode to 2.3 because this patch was built using version 2.3. Okay, next we're going to set the Oscillator 1 voices to quad. Set the detune amount to 17. And we're going to add an oscillator effect called Brilliance and set that to 24. And then for the mixer width, we want to set that to 100. Next, we're going to add Oscillator 2, set its voices to quad, and set detune to 31. And then set mixer width on Oscillator 2 to 100. Okay, now let's set up the envelope. So we want to set the release. So when adjusting the release, it's always good to, at least in my opinion, just kind of tap notes as you increase the release setting so that you can hear the tail end of the note extending. So let me demonstrate that. I'm just going to tap a C note, just repeatedly hit it on the keyboard. So right now it has a short release. Okay, so basically that's the idea. So ultimately we want release to be set at 50, so I'm just going to increase it to 50. Okay, next, going to add a filter, VCF1, and we're going to leave cutoff where it is, but increase resonance to 6. Okay, next I'm going to add an EQ. And for the EQ, what we're going to do is, with filter 1, apply a plus 7 dB boost around 200 Hertz, right above 175 here. And increase the resonance to 96. Then with filter 2, we're going to apply a minus 23.5 dB cut at 55 Hertz. And increase the resonance to 88. So by increasing the resonance here, it's made this point sharper, the transition between filter 2 and filter 1. And in effect, if we bring 2 over here, what we've done is we've created a narrow notch type filter. And just by moving it all the way to the left, in effect, it ends up acting like a high pass filter to cut out some of the low end, extreme low end. Okay, so next we're going to take filter 3 and apply a 3.5 dB boost right around 2.5 kilohertz, 2.5 kilohertz. And for filter 4, we're going to apply a 2.5 dB boost at 17.5 kilohertz. Okay, so before and after EQ1. All right, next we're going to add EQ2. And for EQ2, we want to take filter 2 and apply a 4.5 dB boost just below 1.75 kilohertz, probably close to 1.7. And with filter 3, we're going to apply a 5.0 dB boost with 0 resonance just above 10 kilohertz. And then with filter 4, just below 5.5 kilohertz, we're going to apply a minus 2.5 dB cut. So before and after with EQ2. Okay, next we want to add a phaser. So add mod effects 1. We're going to change the mode to phaser. And for this we want center to be at 40, speed at 5, and depth at 70. And feedback at 54. So let me go ahead and make those adjustments. And I'm going to bring up the mix to 50, just so we can hear it take effect. And you can kind of see the phaser effect taking effect in the spectrum analyzer. Next, we're going to increase stereo to 100, quad to 100, and Q phase to 98. And then finally, we're going to disable the EQ here. Okay, next we're going to add a delay. And for this, we're going to leave the settings, the synced settings at 1/4. Let's go ahead and set feedback to 0, crossback to 0. I'm going to set mix to 31. And then feedback to 27.5 and crossback to 19.5. Really starts to give it a sense of space and movement. Now we're going to add a reverb. And for the reverb, we want the dry to be at 100 and the wet to be at 59. And then to really allow the reverb to be as bright as possible, we'll set the damp to 0. Finally, the last adjustment we will make is increasing the output level to 102 And I'll do that as I play through the MIDI sequence, and then that will be the end of the video. And that's the patch. I'll see you in the next video.